Hi guys, welcome to the very first offering for Campervan Habitude. Sounds a bit odd actually saying that. Today is the 31st of May 2020, and before we start I've got to tell you it is warm here today. I'm getting a little bit of a glow on. I say warm, it's actually 25 degrees. Well, what can you expect from this vlog and any vlogs that follow? Well, if you didn't know already, we are interested in camper vans. We're interested in travel in the UK and interested in travel in Europe too. So if you are too, then this may be of interest to you. I say we, I should maybe introduce you to we. My name is Mel, and I'll be joined and helped hopefully along the way by my wife Ruth, aka Sparky. And it'll also include our crazy Airedale Rafferty, sometimes called Raffy. I say welcome to our very first vlog. I should say it's not actually the first video that we've provided for Campervan Habitude. I've added a short montage just to show you the sort of things that we are interested in. It's only a couple of minutes long, so have a look at that if you haven't had a look at it already. And I've also provided you with another video that might be between 7 or 8 minutes long. Now that charts the restoration of a 1964 split screen camper that we had, that we bought almost 10 years ago now, and how that turned out. It wasn't planned, and you'll see that when you see the video, but you'll see how it turned out and the great times that we had with the camper too, so it's well worth a watch. Check that out. As I say, that was 10 years ago now. We have had a T5 since. I don't doubt that you'll see images of that along the way, but it's a long time since we have had a van, and I needed a new project, and I love the vans anyway, and Ruth loved the vans, and Foster loved the vans, and I'm sure Rafty's going to love the van too, which is why we need a new van in our life. This vlog is going to be about the conversion is the word I'm looking for, of that van, what I wanted to do with it, what I ended up doing with it, because of course it's not just down to what I want. I've taken that on board, and what we've encountered along the way, what problems we've hit along the way. I won't provide any spoilers. I'll let you see what has occurred, but I think the first clip that we see takes place in August. I think we bought the van September, and I think the first clip that you're about to see is in August, when the weather wasn't quite so good, but have a look at this. Okay, it's the 10th of August 2019 and it's flower show day. Slightly windy, I must admit. Reason for the video is really to show you my mindset at the moment. We've had this van now for 3 weeks, a month maybe. It's been off the drive a couple of times. You will see there are cobwebs on the mirrors even. But my mind has not been resting. I've been working things out for weeks, trying to understand what on earth I'm going to do. You will see from scribblings on the walls where I've sketched top bins, little bins for items during bedtime, heights of beds, there's even lengths of beds, there's even a little seat to assist me in my quest. I've even removed a panel or two, but still I'm not entirely sure that this job is going to get done very quickly with my 10-year-old drill and my Halford sprocket set. Wow, look at me pre-lockdown, out of the house without a care in the world. Yeah, I had a little bit of head scratching. I've got to warn you, I overthink things. So over the following days I did kind of scratch my head quite a bit, and I bored Ruth an awful lot with what I wanted to do with this camper. But just have a look at the sort of things that I was trying to put across. But I do realise that my planning gets in the way of planning at times. I know that doesn't make a great deal of sense, but it certainly gets in the way of what I'm trying to do. My wife and I have both looked at a number of blogs online, largely she's looked at them because I've made her look at them, but still she's looked anyway. We've looked at so many YouTube clips, but they're not entirely what we want. They're not entirely what we're looking for. We don't really like, or rather we do like campers, of course we do. I love the California. I'd love to have enough money to have something similar, but they're not entirely what we're looking for, if I'm honest. We want something that's not quite as camper van-ish, if that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, it needs to be a day bus, but it has to have facilities to get us around the UK and Europe for a week or two, or maybe even 3 weeks if we do manage to pursue our dreams, and maybe follow the Tour de France at some stage and get around a few of the places over in France. It's let me show you a little bit of, I don't want to bore you too much, but too late. Is that better? Much better. Right, okay. So if we've got the van sort of, let's have a look at the bottom of the van, across there with almost like a, I don't know, do they call them schematic drawings? I don't know what they call them, to be honest, but yeah, this is our van, you know, sort of with the wheel arch in the back, if that makes any sense to you. What the hell am I doing? It looks like that's my plan anyway. That's certainly where we're going to be going. You can see from my notebooks as well. It's all I ever do is write about, you know, T6's measuring floor plans and stuff like that, and budgets and how we're going to afford to do things, and campsites, great campsites to go. I can only assume I must have been drinking at some stage, so I apologise. Regardless, what you can see from those short clips was I clearly overthink. I plan things too much. I wanted one thing, Ruth wanted another thing. She wanted an all singing, all dancing camper. She'd love a California, so would I. I knew we couldn't afford one. I wanted more of a day bus with facilities to get us around, but also the option to take those facilities out and use it as a day bus and maybe something for building work. I was never going to get away with that. Who was I trying to kid? So we had to come to a compromise. The one thing that we did know that we both wanted, if we were going to move this forward at all, was windows in the van. So that was a good starting point for us. So here we go. In case you're wondering, yeah, it's going to be a bit daunting taking a hole saw to the rear doors of the van, but you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, so it was just a case of getting on with it. So the process here was, I used an 1¼ inch hole saw to drill the 4 corners of the upper panel of the rear door. The panel's actually a single skin, so it's relatively simple to drill through those. Once all 4 corners were drilled, I simply used an angle grinder to join the dots really. If you check out YouTube, there's plenty of clips on there offering advice on how to cut in windows in transporters, so you'll be able to see the process for yourself. But to be honest, it's possibly harder to get this wrong than it is to get it right, I think. There is a double skin ridge inside the upper panel, so it's just a case of using that rim as a guide. You can see here that I placed masking tape over the area I was going to be drilling and cutting. This was just to protect the paintwork as much as possible really, because there are quite a lot of sparks flying. The windows that I fitted were provided by Shaw Vans. Now I ordered these from their website, but I have spoken to them on the phone on a couple of occasions, and I've got to say they're really helpful when you do call them up, so they're a great company to work with. The window kit came with a cleaner for the paintwork, primer for the metal edges, a gasket seal to cover the newly cut edge of the aperture, and a mastic seal to fix the window to the van. You'll notice here that strips of masking tape appear to be holding the glass to the van. It's advised that tape is used to avoid any slippage, but once that glass comes into contact with the mastic, I've got to say it's going nowhere. That said, I would leave it 24 hours before taking the van out. I'd also be careful slamming any of the doors on the van. This is just to avoid any shifting pressure inside the van affecting the newly fitted windows. In homage to Blue Peter, here's one I cut earlier. You can actually see the gasket seal fitted around the edge of the aperture here. The door here is now ready to add the mastic and adhere the window to the van. Perfect time to give you a word of warning. This mastic is not like normal mastic. I actually destroyed 2 of my metal guns trying to squeeze this stuff out. It's like a mouse trying to squeeze a watermelon through its anal passage. It's a nightmare. In fact, I was later told that a lot of companies will use proper air mastic guns to squeeze this stuff out. It is recommended that you heat it up, but even that process wouldn't help too much, I shouldn't think. I've also got to apologise for the lack of video footage here. In this bit, I did actually record the first window being fitted, but then later ran out of space on my iPhone whilst I was on holiday. So you know what it's like, that video was sacrificed for a much nicer video. Here's a beautiful shot of my van after it was lowered. Now, if any of you have seen my Rust to Resto video showing my splitty, you'll know that I don't like slamming vans. But this van was far too high when we bought it. I had no option but to lower it to a certain degree. It was just vital to improve the ride quality, to be honest. This job though was well outside my comfort zone, so I requested the help of Rich from RS Autos in Wem. That's a company based in North Shropshire. Rich is an absolute star, and he fitted van slam coilovers. And these, they are, you can alter them. But he lowered the van around 80mm, so you can see that it looks an awful lot better, and I can't tell you how much it's improved. The ride quality is fantastic. You can see that the van is also fitted with black sidebars. They were added by a company called Van Style. They're based near Sherwood Forest, just north of Nottingham. Again, fantastic company, really helpful staff, and they will fit anything bought from them with no charge. I mean, how good is that? Now, although you can't see them fitted in the picture, they're not fitted at that stage. I did actually ask Creative Coachworks to fit my side windows. They're a company who are also based in Wem and North Shropshire on the same industrial site as RS Autos. They actually worked on our old splitty in the past, and I had no driveway at the time to work on due to scaffold being erected around our house. As such, my lack of patience got the better of me, and I asked them if they'd do the work. As expected, they did a fantastic job, which they always do, but I must add they generally work on classic vehicles, so I really do appreciate them helping me out on that occasion. Well, things were going well, as you can see. In fact, maybe a little too well. We all know that life doesn't go well for too long, so I was expecting something to go wrong. But not to this extent.